Welcome to We Found New Music. I'm Grant Owens, and we are so pleased to be joined in the studio by the one and only AXEL Mansoor and Louis Vivet.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Grant. You're the man.
The most recent single, Hit Rewind, is out now, featuring Louis Vivet, and you guys just performed that for us. We're going to get into that in just a moment. You can check out all of AXEL's music up on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever. Very exciting up-and-coming artist. And thank you for performing for us. Let's get a little bit into your background here. So just to start, how did you get started in music, AXEL?
How did I get started in music? Damn, that's a good question. Well, my dad is tone deaf, so not him. My mom liked to play Andrea Bocelli around the house.
Oh, he's great.
Maybe that was a good influence. But I never really got like much of my music from either of my parents. It was all of like the music that I ever listened to, and then the entire reason I started playing music was my older brother. He's like a metal musician. He's pretty damn good at what he does, and so that was honestly a lot of like. I think when I was 13, he was like, "Hey, AXEL, learn guitar," and I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Do you want girls to like you?" And I said, "Yes." And then it worked.
So he's an enabler.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, but like I was always like, I remember I would always like put on, because he gave me like a lot of like early I was in like third grade, I was listening to like Nirvana and Offspring and stuff like that. And I would always like be playing video games and putting that stuff on like Winamp, which is like this program that you could listen to music on, and I would just be like playing video games and just like singing harmonies. Sure. But not ever thinking about it as like, oh, this is me doing music.
Right.
But then when I was 13, like I said, my brother got me into guitar, and I just like started to play songs that I loved, and that was really like that's when I got the bug, and I just like could not put the guitar away.
And then when did you start writing songs?
What's funny
around the same time?
Well, yeah. So what's funny is I don't think there was ever. This is gonna sound like douchey, but it's not. But I think I was always writing songs, like from the very beginning, but I just didn't even think of it as writing songs because I was self-taught and I was just doing everything by ear. And so as soon as I could like make chords and stuff and like piece things together, I was just piecing things that I liked together and like humming over stuff, and just like, I didn't think of them as songs or anything, but I was immediately like just making stuff that wasn't stuff that I'd heard.
And you were kind of mimicking your favorite artists. It sounds like it just came naturally to you as a true love, right? Just like,
totally.
Just like, oh, this comes naturally to me, and it's cool you pursued it. That's great. So finally, here, how old are you now, AXEL?
I'm 38.
38. Here 30 some years later, you finally released your first single.
I look good for my age, though.
You do. You look 12. I think you'd still get ID'd.
12 and 38.
You'd still get ID'd at a bar here in LA.
Yeah.
So
I gotta let this grow out a little bit. And then
you're working on it. It's good.
Yeah, but then I might get extra ID'd if I let it grow too much.
So your first single, "Wasted My Love," actually was released to much acclaim. You received a great response to it. Talk about that reaction and what it means to get that response so early on in an artist's career.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I think the thing that happened with "Wasted My Love," and it's like, I feel like it was almost good karma, because it was one of the first times that I ever like was like, okay, I'm gonna put something out of myself, and I'm not gonna be attached to the result. And it was a very deliberate thing, much easier said than done. Like everybody, that's like the holy grail of putting stuff out there, is like, I'm gonna put it out and I don't care how it does.
Right.
And everybody says that, and it's really hard to actually feel that way.
Yeah.
But the condition that I'd kind of like deliberately set for myself was, did I actually put blood, sweat, and tears into this? Like, did I make, because we're always getting better and we're always trying to grow, but at this point in time, was it the absolute best thing that I could make? And by the time that we released it, the answer was yes. And like, I really felt that way. And it was one of the first times I'd ever felt like that about anything I'd ever made. And so when we put it out, I was sort of like, look, and we can ask Mike, but I said this, like, as long as I know that I did the best job that I possibly can, like, I'm gonna try not to care about the result. And it ended up doing, I mean, way better than I thought it was gonna do. I was like, if this gets 100,000 streams, I'm gonna fucking dance.
Yeah. What are you at now?
Now it's at like, I think it's almost at 600,000 or something.
Damn,
it's
pretty good.
Still growing, but yeah, you know, like I had no real expectations, and I think that's why I say it was like kind of good karma. It was like one of the only times where I really felt that way, and then something good happened. So I'm trying to repeat that process with every song.
Yeah, I think it was a genuinely great song. So, you know, you got the reaction you deserved. You got on a lot of playlists, and it was a good first single. So good for you.
Yeah, we went viral.
And to accompany that first single, we were introduced to a jacket, and a very colorful jacket you forgot to wear today.
I did not bring it. I wore my colorful blue shirt.
But
instead.
if you know AXEL Mansoor's music, you know the jacket. So tell us about the jacket.
I actually can't. It's an industry secret.
Well, we're good at revealing industry secrets. We found new secrets.
So I'll say this. I'll give you, and all the Dash Radio listeners a little tidbit. The jacket was presented to me by somebody who I care very much about, and it was not. I did not actually originally find it myself, but it was given to me. And the reason that I wear the jacket, so I can't reveal too much about the origins of the jacket, but I will say that the entire reason that I wear that jacket is not, you know, obviously the color scheme is really cool and like I love it, but the reason that I wore it initially was because when I saw it, I thought it looked so ridiculous that I was like, I'm gonna wear something just because I think it's cool and not worry about what other people think. And not, because I used to be so insecure and, you know, I still struggle with it sometimes, but like I used to care, I put so much power in the hands of other people where I'm like, all right, if somebody doesn't like it, I'm not gonna wear it. You know, if somebody says one bad thing, like if I don't think other people are gonna like this, I'm not gonna do it. And I put on that jacket literally because I was trying to challenge myself. And I was like, do something just for yourself without worrying about what other people are gonna think. And that's why I wear the jacket. And funnily enough, it ended up being a thing that like everybody really liked.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny how life
You
works
branded
that
yourself
way.
from day one, but that's also a struggle to you know, kind of just overcome that feeling of, you know, I need to impress everybody, you know, whatever.
Exactly.
That's good. Good for you. But also it actually ended up looking great on the art, the
Right,
album art.
It's so dope.
It's now your it's now your thing. As terrible as you think the jacket is, it's actually
well, now, you know,
not so bad.
I love it, and like that's the thing is that it's like this multifaceted thing where it's like at first I did this just for me, but now it's become a symbol.
Yeah.
And I want it to be a symbol of just like doing of living life in a way. Obviously, you don't want to hurt anybody else, but living it in a way where, you know, you can be proud of something just because you're proud of it, and it doesn't have to be like nobody else has to put their stamp on approval on it for you to like be proud of it.
It's like Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's your Technicolor Dreamcoat.
I am Joseph.
So, you know, if you ever get asked that again, you can say it's my Technicolor Dreamcoat.
There you go.
I
will.
Moving on. Any albums that you've been listening to recently you've been loving?
Albums that I've been listening to recently that I love. Okay, there's this band actually called Anima. I think they're local. Yeah.
You showed me them.
Yeah, they're
really
so sick.
sick.
They're so sick. And like, I mean, they have some play, but they deserve way more. They're super sick. Check them out. It's Anima with an exclamation point. So ANIMA exclamation point. I really, really love their music. Other albums, I recently checked out for the first time D'Angelo's Voodoo.
Nice.
Which I finally got onto it, and finally I was like, oh, this is why everybody loves D'Angelo, because he's super, super
Fresh
sick.
sound too.
Still, like you listen to it now and you're like, holy shit, this is fresh.
Yeah, it just
And
feels
he's doing that.
effortless. I think that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah. Oh my God. He's
Anything
the
he does
sexiest
is like
man ever.
and
Sexiest
baby
musician
making
ever.
music. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Holy
It's effortless baby making music.
effortless baby making. That should be like a shirt.
That's your second
That's
album.
yeah, exactly. It's my EP.
Wait,
It's
your
coming
first
out.
album. You haven't come out with first album. That's like
It's
your
good to plan
future.
ahead, dude. It's
That's
good to
your
plan
that's like
ahead.
your future ex-wife. so.
Yeah. Oh man.
What's something you struggled with as an artist, and how have you overcome it?
Well, you know, like I was talking about, I think tend to put a lot of weight on other people's opinions, and I have like, it's a struggle for me where I'm a people pleaser and I love people. I'm very extroverted, and so I want to make everybody around me happy. And when you're making, pop music, it's this like constant battle between like, am I making myself happy, and am I also making music that people are going to understand? Because people make music for different reasons, but for me, I definitely believe that music is meant to be shared. Like, I want my music to be shared. I want people that I know.
You want people to feel it. You want people to
I don't want it to be
themselves with
just for me,
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be for me and for other people.
That's the whole point of music. It's
Right.
like experience it with other people. So
Exactly. And there's some musicians, there's some bedroom musicians where it's like, I do this just for me, and that's cool. I respect that. But the reason that I get into music and the reason that it excites me is that I can, get people excited about it. I think the struggle is, like I said, it can be so hard with so many voices and the amount of content that we see. Like, it's hard. You could like start comparing yourself. You start asking for everybody's opinion before anything is done.
Mm-hmm.
And like, when I say you, I mean me. But like,
But I know.
it's like there's all these distractions, and there's all these opinions, and there's all these viewpoints, and you're trying to juggle everything all at once, and there's so much like noise, like both literally and emotionally, that I think a solution that I recently found, which was super, super important, and I highly recommend this to any of the artists or creatives or people out there, or whatever. Like, if you're struggling with this at all, is like solitude, not loneliness. Loneliness is something that happens to you. Solitude is something you choose. Like, it's going into a place with intention of being with yourself. Follow your own instincts. And I did that, and it took me out of like a 3-week spiral where I was just like really down on myself.
Sure.
And it was awesome. Yeah. So I highly recommend it.
I think that's great advice. Well, let's get into the most recent single, which is why we have Louis right here.
I'll let you talk.
And that's Hit Rewind.
yeah, please.
How did you guys meet, and how did you end up coming together on this song?
Oh, it's actually funny. So we went to USC together. We were in college together. We didn't actually interact that much in college.
I hated you.
I hated you too.
He's my arch
Despise
rival,
you.
my nemesis.
We've always hated each other. Now look at us in the same room.
Oh, we've made our peace.
We made our peace. But he actually released Wasted My Love, and I was in Asia. I was, like having fun. Came on my Spotify, and I was like, holy hell, this song is so dope. So I actually just reached out to AXEL randomly. I was like, hey man, I'll be back in the US like in 2 weeks. Let's see if we can get together. And he was like, he was like, absolutely. And we like met up, and that song came really easily too. Like, AXEL just pulled out his guitar. He's like, hey, I have this like guitar loop. I
We did
want to
that
show
shit in
you.
like a day.
Literally a day.
Yeah,
We
it was
made,
Did you guys
a whole
write it
song.
on the beach or something? Like
In our
California?
minds.
Okay.
We're actually in your
We were,
room.
yeah. So we had to pretend like we were somewhere better.
Yeah. It was an escape.
You're living in a van down by the river?
Yeah.
Pretty much. So he played me the guitar loop, and I was like, this song is so sick. So I was like, you got to track that right now. So he gets over to his computer, his like little workstation.
Nick makes like a beat on his like computer. Like,
I
all
just
at the
put
same
my
time.
headphones on, don't say anything.
Yeah.
And like 2 hours later, I was like, I have the drums.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Literally what
That's
happened.
literally how
and
it
I was
happened.
like, oh,
You're like,
shit.
oh, yeah, it was tight. It was really tight. It was so easy.
So
It
the
was
song
easy.
started with the drums? Or did
Well,
you
it
have
started,
lyrics?
started
Like-
with that dun 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 dun.
Okay,
dun,
sure,
dun,
of
dun,
course.
dun. So that was just a guitar, and then like Nick was like, record that, and then he literally just like put on headphones and like
Okay.
made a drum beat.
Came up with drum beat.
Didn't say a word
Then
to
showed
him.
it to me, and I was like, oh shit, like.
And I
this
think it
vibe
like
is amazing.
That's awesome.
I took it in like a different direction. Like I feel like the initial vibe was much more like kind of like the acoustic version. It was
Yeah,
like
it was
much
like more laid
chill
back. It
and-
was like it was
yeah.
slower for sure.
Yeah.
And then we sped it up. It like, but Nick's drum beat like added like energy to it, but it also opened up like the possibilities for the song. And that's when I was
Yeah.
like, yo, like what if we like take that guitar line and like turn it into a bass line, and it opens
Oh,
up
that
with
was
that.
so sick. I've never seen
Yeah.
anyone do that. He just like pitched down the guitar in Logic, and it was an entire bass line.
Cool.
We're like,
Sound
we're like, should we
shifting
remake
people.
it? Or we're like, no, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were actually talking about that, and we were like, we both, I think like especially for AXEL, he wanted that song where at like the end of the show, it was the one that has the most energy, has the most hype,
Anthem.
that the anthem that like has the big
stadium
chorus.
song.
I mean, that's all my Louis V songs are like all about the big payoff, like the huge chorus and like making it very upbeat. So it came super naturally.
That's so
and we
cool.
just like, we knocked it out. We were like, we did exactly what we wanted
And we were
to
like
do.
talking about anthemic stuff before like we were really
Before
like
he even
working
played
on it.
me
Like
the song,
just when it came over and then it just happened. And
It
it's
happened.
like, oh yeah.
It was really
Love it.
cool.
Yep.
Right on, guys. Well, we love the new single, so we look forward to seeing it all over the place. In commercials,
Yeah.
on playlists,
Yeah,
hit
hope you guys
rewind.
Sync agents out there,
Yeah.
listen up.
Awesome, guys. So thank you guys so much for being here. What's next? So you have this single. You have more work on the way?
Yeah, so we definitely are planning on releasing, I mean, when I say we, I mean my manager and I. I'm definitely planning on releasing one more single, possibly two by the end of the year. And then early next year, I'm going to be working on an EP. I'm
Awesome.
very, very excited about. I already have like 25 songs written. I now need to like
That's awesome.
narrow
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
But
narrowing
it's
down.
good. You're taking time releasing the music because people need, time to latch on. And that's good.
Yeah.
And it seems like people are starting to latch on. We've had some great shows we've presented of yours.
Yes,
And
you
you're starting to
have.
really build a fan base, which is really exciting to
crazy,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, if you can go see Axel live,
Yeah.
it is life changing.
And I've seen
I had
all
the pleasure.
different versions.
No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Good luck.
Review on Yelp like 1 star, did not change life.
Go check it out, guys. I can stand right here for you. We recommend it. A good live show, AXEL MANSOOR. Do you have any shows coming up?
I don't know, Grant. Do I?
Do I?
On the spot.
I mean, look to wefoundamusic.com and find some shows.
So we actually, if anybody is in San Diego,
San Diego.
doing a So Far Sound show in San Diego, October 14th.
Cool. You just go to sofarsounds.com.
Yeah,
Cool.
So Far Sounds.
All right. And then, so how can people find your music?
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, basically
Napster, LimeWire.
Yeah.
LimeWire, Kazaa.
Just Google it.
Yeah.
MySpace Music.
Do you have a
MySpace
website?
Music.
You have a website?
I do have a website, www.axelmansoor.com.
I don't think anybody needs to type in the
I guess they
www.
know,
I haven't
right?
heard that
They're
in-
like, what?
Since Nam.
What?
Is it AXEL MANSOOR?
It's just my name, Axel Mansoor, MANSOOR.
There's 2 O's in there, guys.
It's double O, like the agent.
Ooh.
There you go.
I should start saying that.
Double O. Well, you just did. So
just-
thank you for debuting it here.
You saw it here first.
Yes.
Dash Radio. We found new music. Grant Owens, the man. Should be your hype man.
All right, man. Thank you for bringing us so much joy.
Of course, man.
And
Thank you
with
for having
that,
us.
thank you guys.
Yeah,
We
thank
will
you.
see you next time.
We'll just roll on out of here.
AXEL MANSOOR, Louis Vive
Yes,
on
thank you so much,
We
Grant.
Found New Music.